Our topic today is about Saudi Arabia is destination or destinations. Why are we asking this question today? We all know about the transformation that is happening within the kingdom and the new cities and new projects that the kingdom is creating. Not only that, the existing treasures and cities that we are currently having. Today, as a local citizen, I am starting to discovering and exploring the rich treasures that we have, like Al-Ula, Al-Dir'iyya, Al-Suda, and many others. When we came across this topic, we know that today Saudi Arabia is the most exciting business. We know that people from around the world are relocating to work in the kingdom. However, are we preparing them to live? Today we would like to scratch on the surface by trying to answer this question. Whether Saudi Arabia is one or multiple destinations. So therefore, to have an iBird view on discovering Saudi destinations, we would like to introduce to you our panel experts, starting with Mr. Abdurrahman Abul Khail, who is the CEO for Dan Company, which is the most recent development company that was announced by the PIF. Mr. Tariq Nabulsi, who is the CEO for projects at Al-Athaim Investment, who are developing and reimagining the real estate market in the kingdom. And Mr. Muhammad Itani, who is the partner for the residential marketing and sales unit at Knight Frank Middle East. And with Mr. Santiago Conway, the founder and the CEO of one of the leading real estate branding agencies, Conway and Partners. Let's start with the most recent company. Mr. Abdurrahman, I would like to first ask you, what does DAM mean? And also to know, in your view, what distinctions between rural and urban developments, and how Dan is looking to navigate these differences in your projects.
Thank you, Khalid. صباحكم الله بالخير جميعا. Good morning. It's very interesting what Dan means, but before we go to that one, let me tell you a little bit more about Dan. So our mission at Dan comes with two folds, where we are building themed agriculture, adventure, and eco resorts across the country, in which we are creating a brand, which would be the national champion brand in the agri-hospitality. So we are agri-hospitality developer and operator. The second mission of our journey is where we become an enabler for the farm owners, in which we help them to cultivate more on their assets by giving them tools to be through a franchise model, so they could operate or convert part of their hospitality or part of their farms into a small hospitality element, and they could practice their heritage out there. So let's go back to what Dan means. Let me just ask the audience, does anyone could guess, except Dan team, what Dan means? Who's it? Okay. So Dan comes from the Holy Quran. سورة الرحمن وجنا الجنتين دان والتي تعني الشيء المتدني القريب. Dan means something that comes from the Holy Quran, which means something that's near, close, and reachable, which actually reflects our values and principles at Dan, to being close and at the heart of the society and the communities. So moving to the distinction between the urban and the rural developments, let's agree on something. Both are part of the fabric. Both are part of the offerings, and both have different purposes. However, when it comes to rural destinations or rural development, in my humble opinion, it's more human-centric, environmentally focused, while the urban destinations prioritize more the efficiency. Yet the urban developments could actually tap more into the availability of infrastructure, utility, etc., and while the rural destinations comes with more land abundance, availability of lands, greenery, flora and fauna, etc. So the question, what's our strategy at Dan to navigate and to develop our strategy? First and foremost, before we enter into any region, there are three things must be kept in mind: culture, authenticity, and heritage. These are the three things which must be kept in mind before venturing into any region. Once you have this in mind, then you could be able to tap more into the cultures and add to it rather than take from it. We go further actually by even going with a bottom-up approach in which we help people to how they could help to reflect their authenticity, to reflect their heritage, to reflect their crafts, the cuisines, etc. Also, we go further, a step further with the farm owners by giving them the tools to operate their inner, I would say, farms, which could reflect their focused, very heritage, that could reflect maybe for that family. All of our journey, all of Dan's journey, is characterized by ecologically friendliness, in which we maintain the being environmentally conscious from day one, before the construction, during the construction, and even after the operation. And this is, in my opinion, the distinction between both.
Great, thank you so much. That's very informative, and also thank you for answering the first question about what that means. Mr. Muhammad, as an expert in the real estate market, how do you perceive the role of real estate in transforming Saudi Arabia from known as an Islamic destination to multiple destinations?
Yeah. Good morning. Thank you, Khalid, for this question. In fact, yes, Saudi was is and will always be known as for Mecca and Medina as the religious cities, and we've seen people from all over the world, primarily Muslim, comes to these two cities for many religious for the religious purpose. And Riyadh during that time was known as business hub or business cities. But today, with these new destinations that are coming out, we are seeing that each destinations serve a certain purpose. And this is why, as the real estate developers today, they have a lot to do when it comes to the projects that are under development. Each project is unique, and thus each project has to create a certain experience. So we have the customer's experience and the habitat experience and the visitor or tourist experience that should be taken into mind when developing a certain project. If you compare Saudi, let's say 10 years back, we see that the real estate used to depreciate. It's only the land that was going up, and by that, the real estate will go up. But today, if you do a certain design, so it's try to create a unique project. If you, let's say, try to, whether it was in architecture, whether it was in the amenities that are in it, you'll be able to create a certain real estate project that appreciates in value. And another thing that should, for you to be able to do that, you should be able to create credibility, to trust it, because we never forget from where we buy our homes. Whether it's a first home, whether it's a second home or vacation home. It's always the developer or the projects, the name of the projects that we are in. And if we ask a lot of people today, where do they live? They will tell you the name of the city or the neighborhood. They don't tell you the name of the project. This is why, as developers, we need to work, we encourage them to work more on names, on creating brands. And by this, they will be able to create their destinations within their projects and within their cities. So we'll have multiple destinations in different cities. And we are seeing the different projects that are coming out today. Each project serves a certain purpose. In the past, Taif was known as a summer vacations, but today Al Ula is emerging as a heritage and cultural city. You have the Qiddiya, which is under development as an entertainment city. So as you will have multiple destinations within the different cities. And this is why Saudi today, it's not only Riyadh, it's not only Mecca or Medina, but are the different cities that are being under development. By doing this, the real estate will be able to assist in developing and creating destinations within Saudi. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mohammed. Moving to Mr. Santiago, from an international expert's view, what are the lessons that Saudi Arabia can learn from the international markets, and what do you think is the or how the kingdom leverage its wealth and resources in becoming a globally successful?
Yes, thank you. Well, first of all, I'm thinking, what is the business that we do in Saudi in this whole idea of the destination? I'm going to say my opinion from a marketing perspective. I liked what Abdul Rahman said about culture and how we bring this idea of culture in the Saudi approach. And I was thinking, I think we're in the business of imagination here. His Majesty Mohammed bin Salman, I think he had a very clear vision, and he imagined something. And this big vision, now we are we're the ones that we have to create all these values that were there to present in real estate, in developments, and we need to bring them. But there's one thing that, in my opinion, I think we need to do from the Saudi global perspective is we need to simplify a little bit the message abroad. I think we need to make a very strong, unique, iconic message abroad, and we need to think that destinations are created not only with a destination here, it could be Daria, it could be Alula, could be any project, but it starts, for me, it starts at the airport in New York. That's where I get in contact with the airline, with the Saudi hospitality. Then I go into the plane, and the hospitality is there again. And then I come here, like I went to Daria, and I had the hospitality of one of the kids there, Halid, who took with me, and he gave me all that Arabic hospitality. So it's the development, but it's a full circle. And I think that's what we have to create. We have to engage, and it starts with that whole experience. At the same time, I believe that here the real estate developers, as I've seen in other markets, are the heroes, and all of you are the heroes that take this vision to fruition. And I think we need to do in the media that pushing and support of that visionary entrepreneurship, and the young Saudi especially. So, and I also think from a global perspective, the Saudi culture needs to be a conversation between Saudis and global or people from abroad, and we need to talk together to create this dialogue towards the global media, which is for me very important.
This is very interesting. Thank you, Mr. Santiago. And I was wondering about how the experience that starts even before coming into the actual destination or becoming to Saudi Arabia. This is very interesting. Thank you. Mr. Tariq, from a private sector perspective, as we know today with the rapid growing developments that is happening within the kingdom and new projects that's going on, we've been seeing a trending honeymoon phase for some of the developments, if that's the right way of saying it. I'm trying to understand how Al Atheem is making sure that their projects and developments are sustainable, and what are the challenges and opportunities that we are having here in the market today?
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. Al Atheem, just to give you a background, Al Atheem, Abdullah Al Atheem Investment started out as a mall, retail shopping mall builder and operator. This is what we used to do. We've added entertainment. We're one of the largest entertainment provider in the GCC. And today, along with the vision of 2030 and how the expansion and the openness of the kingdom, we have started to identify what is the best sustainable projects that can be developed, that can encompass and continue to attract our customers throughout the kingdom. So today, we are present in 12 cities across the kingdom. We do have an additional 17 projects under development, so that will increase our brand awareness of Al Uthaym and the projects we are doing. And to focus on the idea of sustainability, we always look at the customer journey, how to create a venue, a destination, a unique concept across each and every location that we develop, so that we always have a return of the customer base into our development. Sustainability is very important. That's why we always do in-depth due diligence in the market itself. We look at the needs, and one of our major and focal strategy is that whenever we develop a project in any of the cities, we always make sure that the engagement of the local people within that community is hired, made sure, and we expose them and we educate them and we train them across all of the verticals that we have, and we offer them the opportunity to grow within our organization. And I believe sustainability comes from within that, education and training of the people to be better aware of the opportunities that can come from working within a multifaceted, multi-opportunistic entity such as Al Uthaym. And in doing so, we believe that the more cities that we go into, the more attraction that we try to build, the uniqueness of the projects that we announce and we will continue to announce, inshallah, are aligned with the vision of 2030, and we're trying to hit the KPIs of increasing the gross leasable area offered for the public, one, to increasing the opportunity for local employment within the local and rural cities, especially in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities.
Very interesting. Thank you so much, Mr. Tariq. I was wondering, Mr. Santiago, as an expert in branded residences, and now we're seeing this product is in a hype in the real estate market. Do you think, or what is the role of branded residences in creating destinations? And do you think there is an actual opportunity here in Saudi Arabia?
Yes. Yeah, regarding branded residence, I think it's, first of all, to what happened with branded residence, I think it's the result of having residential buildings that became boring, if you think about, because there's normal building that not a lot happens. And I think we as human beings, as international travelers or whatever, we end up loving brands. I think all of us here, we end up loving brands, and we spend and we invest on brands. So we believe on branded residence. We've been working, one of our last projects, the Aston Martin residences, sold $1 billion, more than $1 billion on one tower alone. So we've seen the results in Miami. This is a big group, and we've done a very nice, successful project there with that one. And we believe that branded residence will bring global recognition, global appeal, and at the same time, it will create premium value, which is what I think today we were discussing with the whole team of Al Uthaym, the value of branded residences. And the magic of branded residences is that you can also develop a Saudi branded residence. It doesn't need to be only global branded residence. We could develop something here that it's very honoring our culture, our heritage, with a global kind of perception or global perspective. So we believe on the premium value it brings to developers, and we believe that young developers should be aiming to go in that direction for sure. And who doesn't love brands?
Thank you very much. In our final minutes, I would like to, and as I mentioned in the introduction, that we are only scratching the surface of this topic. I would like to ask this question for all of our panelists. From your view and from your perspective and the industry background that you're coming from, what makes a destination destination? I will start with you, Mr. Abdurrahman.
Well, I'm sure that different people would have different answers or different views about it.
Yes.
However, what we believe at DAN, it's actually 3 pillars. 1 is the context, 2 is the partnerships, and 3 is the engagement.
Okay.
What I mean by context is we really have to go and understand the local context of that community. And by that, when I say we understand it, we study it, we actually go and live it. We ask our team to go and live there for some time. We ask our consultants, designers, vendors to go and live so they could immerse themselves with the culture, with people, with the food itself. And then moving to the second pillar, which is the partnerships. You cannot do everything from the head office, and you cannot do everything through the international consultants. We actually engage with SMEs, subject matter experts from the local market. People could be interested in food, what type of architecture type that they're using, what type of stories those areas have. They have lots of stories which nobody have. So having SMEs from the local content would really, really help you to understand this more and be able to build on it. And the last thing is the engagement. Engagement with the stakeholders, with local authorities. Believe it or not, the number of stakeholders that you'd find in rural destinations are much more, that you need to engage with, are much more than what we'd find in urban destinations. And that makes it a little bit more complex. But if you have these 3 pillars at the beginning, the context, partnerships and engagement, I'm sure that the results would be very, very interesting and very much, there's no one size fits all, and that would very much fit that local community.
Thank you. Mr. Tariq?
I think real estate lesson 101, location. But in all honesty, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is a continent by itself. If you go across its vast and natural locations, whether it is in Al-Ula, whether it is in Abha, Khamis Mshet, the mountains of Suda, Rjal Anmla, all of these locations, they are beautiful locations. And I believe if the right study is done, you can cater to really touristic destinations where in one day I can be up in the mountains where it is 5 or 6 degrees. 2 hours later, I'm down at the beach, it is 27, 28 degrees. I don't think the exposure of the destinations in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has been elaborated or it hasn't reached the pinnacle of where all of these destinations are going to be created. And more, especially with the encouragement of the government in terms of the openness and allowing the private partnerships into the development of real estate across the kingdom. I think so many new destinations will be announced, and people will start not only identifying Saudi Arabia as a religious touristic destination, no, but also other areas of the kingdom where you can spend 2-3 days in Al-Taif, go down to Abha in the summertime where most of the Saudi go down and spend their summers. I think there is an opportunity to create amazing destinations in every corner of this beautiful kingdom. I believe with the sponsorship of His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Allah yahfadhu, the direction is clear and the vision is clear, and inshallah it will be accomplished.
Inshallah. Thank you, Mr. Tariq. Mr. Muhammad, I would ask the same question again. What makes a destination destination?
Yeah, I will add to what Mr. Abdurrahman and Mr. Tariq said. I think it's the people. And at the end, it's the communities that they form, the neighborhoods that they live in, and answering to their needs of the citizens or the people that are living within a certain community. And a community is only successful when the people who are living in it are happy and all their needs are satisfied. And it really also depends on the objective of the destination, whether you are looking to do a touristic destination, gastronomy-oriented destination, or therapeutic destination. But in all,
like to people like us. I came here because I saw an opportunity. I think we're transferring that in a global perspective. I think we're saying it, and we're making it real, but we need to increase the way we deliver that message abroad. I think from a human brain, I'm going to speak from a communications perspective, we just don't capture too many messages. We just capture 4 or 5. When you say Paris, you just think on your brain, it comes like, comes the Eiffel Tower, the baguette, Air France, and a couple more things. When we say Saudi, what comes in our brain? What creates that image on our what makes us think globally? And it's different probably locally, but globally, what creates that image that we want to come here? And for me, it was, this is great. There is opportunity. We met Khalid, we met Mohammed, and now we're here with Ramash Nikran and Abdul Rahman. We saw opportunity, and I think the young people in the Saudi market are eager to enhance that opportunity. We need to take them, make them brave, get new, brave, young developers, and tell them, this is the vision, we're going for it, and it's going to happen. It's happening already. It's like we're in the process already. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would like to thank you all for all the valuable insights that you have been giving us and the experience and in creating destinations. And also, I would like to thank you, our audience, and hoping that we have provided an insight of the future of destinations in Saudi Arabia. And thank you very much. Thank you.